It's time to talk a little summer league, a little Naquan Tomlin, a little Jaylen Tyson, Craig Porter Jr., and Tyrese Proctor. We got 10 minutes, so we'll go through this in rapid succession. But as I mentioned to you prior to starting the show, I was in Italy. I did not watch any of the Cavs Summer League live because I was on vacation. I watched the highlights of the 4 players.
What kind of fan are you?
I know, right? Like, how dare I? But I went through and I did watch the highlights of each of these guys, and I'm going to give you my quick highlight analysis based off these short highlights I watched. You fill me in on the rest that I was unable to get from said highlights. Let's start with Jaylen Tyson. He's just too good to be in Summer League, which is exactly what we hoped, exactly what we needed to see. In the one game he played against Indiana early, he was just in control, was able to get to his spots. He missed some shots. That's going to happen. But he just looked like a guy that was too big, too strong, too physical, and too skilled to be playing against Summer League competition.
Jaylen Tyson is definitely too good to be in Summer League at this point in time. But I think things that he was there to work on were still very valid. They want to see him get on-ball reps. And I think with Craig Porter Jr., what happened with him in regards to injury scare, giving him those on-ball reps was of key importance. Averaged 4 turnovers per game. Clearly, there's still some work that needs to be done there, but this is something that should be worked on in this type of environment and can ultimately pay off in a regular season and hopefully in postseasons to come. Not a perfect player, but still has tools in the bag that needed to be developed. And that was hopefully the last time we see him in Summer League, but I'm glad that we got to see that.
Yeah, if he's back next year, we have major problems. I think he's going to get enough time this year for the NBA Cavs that the Summer League will be a long gone, forgotten past for Jaylen Tyson. Let's talk about Naquan Tomlin next. He's a guy who put up some massive numbers in the Summer League. He had a 30-point game. He had a couple double-doubles. When I watched Naquan Tomlin, whether it be last year with the Charge and his short stints with Cleveland in the Summer League, he reminds me of the guy that is at every pickup run where it's like, that's a terrible. Oh, it went in. Oh, wait, he did that. It went. Is that a good shot for him? Oh, maybe that's a good. Oh, that's weird. What? Oh, it worked. None of it makes sense. It looks like he's never moved in a basketball fashion, yet always seems to get to his spot, always seems to be in the right spot, is incredibly efficient around the paint, seems bigger than I thought he was. And I met him in person a couple of times last year in the locker rooms, and he looks bigger now than he did, and he was taller than I anticipated when we got to see him in the locker room. And Mac, he's another guy. He's 24 years old, so it's not like he's a young buck, but he's too good for Summer League. He's raw still, but he was able to score in ways that are unique and, frankly, have me completely intrigued in a good way.
Mikey, he has handle. I mean, yeah. I'm having legitimate discussions with people in group chats talking about, hey, can this guy play the 3? Can he play? Is he a 4? What, can he give us some minutes at the 5? He's a great rebounder, especially on the offensive glass. You already mentioned it.
Jump, really sure. Quick. Or
yeah.
I guess second jump technically. But really
yeah, and I mean his positioning, that was what really stood out to me. He always seemed to be around in the right spot right there, kind of preternatural sense for where the basketball would bounce off of the rim. He was quick to get a putback and put it back up too. I think that's highly important, not just generating those second chance opportunities, but taking it upon himself to put that ball back up and score. The handle, as I mentioned, sticks out to me. But one thing that probably separated him from a lot of these other dudes out there, and I know Summer League is an environment where it's encouraged to jack up shots, right? Make yourself look good. Naquan shows no confidence issues. That is my number one issue with Dean Wade at points. Confidence. Even in that final game where he kind of stunk it up at points and did not have a great shooting percentage at all, especially from 3-point range, he kept letting it fly. And that, to me, I think that can only be viewed in a good light. There are certain times where you're like, dude, what are you doing? Why are you taking that shot? But for Naquan specifically from the front court, I want to see players have reckless abandon at times and just pulling the trigger, because it's a nice change of pace from what we have seen from some of these reserves at times, George Niang notwithstanding. Because George will let it fly too. Yeah. But Naquan, that was very, very impressive to me. Now, he's raw, as you mentioned. Not too many years of organized basketball, no high school ball, and you can clearly tell that he still needs more structure around him, and that on the defensive end, there are a lot of things that need to be worked on there as well. Positioning at times, fouling. He averaged like 5 or 6 fouls during summer league action. I didn't love it all.
You mentioned positioning. It's funny because on the offensive end, he has this knack of being in the right spot at the right time every time. And on the defensive end, as inherently natural as the offensive positioning comes, it is completely foreign to him. And that comes from, he was a street ball player. I don't say it as a knock. Like, he literally didn't play high school basketball. He learned how to play basketball on the streets of Harlem, went to community college, ended up going to Kansas State, then Memphis, undrafted. Like, the tools, the skill set, it's there. It's like a diamond in the rough. And I do think of all the guys we saw from the Cavs in the summer league, without including Jaylen Tyson because he's in a different category, I'm most interested in his development because I do think he can become a legit player at some point. I'm not sure if it's this year. I'm not sure if it's in 2 years. It may be in Europe in 5 years. But the dude could score the basketball, and at 6'8", 6'9", he's listed at 6'10". He's not 6'10", but I'm not quite sure how tall he is with his length and the fact his three-point shot looks pretty good, Mac. Like, he's just shooting with confidence, and that's half the battle.
Again, that is where I'm at the NBA level. We already know they're not going to put the ball in his hands. He's going to have to be a catch and shoot option out there 9 times out of 10. So as long as he can do that and not be chopped liver defensively, be a competent defender, which I think can only come with time and experience at the NBA level, I think he'll be a capable rotation or a back end of rotation player. Should I qualify that?
All right. Let's talk about Tyrese Proctor, the Cavs' second-round pick, the first of their 2 second-round picks. He had 1 monster game, and the other stuff, it looked like it was a little up and down, Mac. The clear takeaway is the dude can shoot the shit out the basketball. Like, the dude can shoot. He averaged 11.1 threes per 36 minutes in the summer league, which is exactly what Cleveland wants him to do. He had a couple of threes from well beyond the three-point
arc. Those are Amani Bates numbers, by the way.
I know. Shout out Amani. Naquan's the new UCSS Amani, by the way. We are fully on the Naquan train. He struggled to get separation at points. He struggled to beat guys off the dribble and really get space. I think that was, and once again, I'm going off what I saw. Mac, you fill me in if I'm wrong. That was kind of the knock on him at Duke. He was a good shooter, smart player, it's good size, but not the most explosive athlete. I think that showed early on, but because he's so smart, because he's so shifty, he was still able to have a game where he had 34 points, whatever it was, and made some really tough shots and made some really tough finishes. You don't have to be the most athletic guy to be a good driver and finisher. You have to be a smart, know your angles, know how to get around defenders. And I think he has a pretty good understanding of that, but the shooting certainly translated, Mac. I think he struggled a bit in terms of the separation, but overall, I think it was a pretty solid showing for a guy who was the 49th overall pick.
Yeah, that's the key word. Like, those are the key words right there. He was a second-round pick. He looked every bit the part of a second-round pick. Clearly more comfortable off ball. And I think at the NBA level, that is where his shots are going to come from, at least in the early going. He is not strike me as a guy that can generate a lot of separation. And I just don't know if that'll ever truly be the case at the NBA level. It's already something that he was struggling with at the collegiate level. Yeah. Not somebody that is a true bona fide primary ball handler out there. So I think you can eliminate that at least in the early going for him. But the shooting is real. I think that there is a real reality in which he could be a potential Sam Merrill replacement down the line. Whether that be, I don't think it'll be this season. Kenny's in love.
They just signed Sam to a 4-year, $38 million contract.
Yeah.
It better not be this season, Mac. Don't even put that out in the atmosphere.
That will not happen. But in year 2, year 3, it's certainly possible, as Sam Merrill's contract will be movable if you need it to be, if Tyrese has made enough progress. But I liked what I saw.
Mac, we got 1 minute left here. Anyone else stand out to you that I didn't necessarily mention?
2 young men, Tristan and Aruna, Cleveland State product. A lot of people in the area are probably very familiar with him. Definitely didn't lack confidence out there. It's not a perfect game out there, but I appreciated the versatility that he brought to the table to that summer league squad. I thought on the defensive end, he did pretty well for himself. Not a playmaker by any means at the NBA level, but I think that the handle is there, and I think the off-ball viability is certainly something that you could expect to carry over to the NBA level. And then Norchad Omier. Here's the thing. Big time fan of what he brought to the table on the glass, but I think in regard to Amir's future in the NBA, he's always going to be viewed as a tweener. Where are you going to play him at positionally? But I think he would be worth a look at with the two-way spot that they have if they do not go the route of Inaruna or pick somebody else up.